This video we're going to talk about playlists, the importance of playlists, and how they can actually affect your videos, your channel growth, your view growth. So here I have got one of my channels. I've got videos and playlists. So when I look at it over the course of the past month or so, I can see that I've got videos and playlists of approximately 10,248 playlists as a whole. So over this period of time, this is the number that's reached. So videos added to playlists. So there's 12,000, not exactly, I don't have 12,000 videos, but that's how many videos have been added to playlists. So one video can potentially count multiple times as being within the playlist. We've also got videos removed from playlists here as well. So this is another metric to pay attention to see, well, people are removing my videos. Maybe I have to work on that a little bit and try to figure out why they're being removed. So in this particular case, in this channel, my content is fairly short-term focused, as opposed to some of my other channels where it's a little bit longer. So the content is not as relative upon launch, after a few months as it is upon launch. So my content's relevance is probably, its lifetime is probably about 6 months to a year, and this is probably why I'm getting content removed, because basically the content is no longer of the value that it once was. And we can see here as well that there's been a drop down of content that's being added to playlists. So this is another thing that I'd be fairly concerned about, and that I actually am concerned about. So I'm looking at why they're being removed from playlists, and I'd have to dig a little bit deeper into the analytics to determine what's happening with these videos, if it's any particular videos that are being removed and which videos are being added. So I'd look more deeply into the content of which ones are performing better and try to analyze those and get out some information regarding why they're doing better. Another important one is when you go to your subscription status. I can see that my subscribers, they're adding a large majority of my video as opposed to the non-subscribers. And in an earlier video we looked at the stats, the views. So my views were roughly 10 to 1 for subscribers as non-subscribers. So subscribers are overwhelmingly adding my videos into playlists, so that's a really good thing, and it might be worth encouraging users to add them into playlists and trying to market it a little bit better as well. So videos being added into playlists again, as well as being removed. So proportionally, most of my subscribers, majority of my subscribers, even though the non-subscribed is much higher, I do have more videos within the subscribed, so being removed from playlists. So I got to really question why this is happening, because it should be roughly around half as it is videos in playlists. So again, my subscribers are actually removing the content, and this once again could be because of the time frame for subscribers. Here we can see that a little bit better, that I've got 882 being removed, so it's not proportion to the amount of subscribed and non-subscribed that have it within the playlist. If we're looking for definitions of what these charts mean, we can see that videos and playlists is the number of times your videos were included in viewers' playlists, including favorites, for the selected date range, region, and other filters. This equals to the additions minus removals. So that makes sense. Videos added in playlists, the number of times your videos were added in the viewers' playlists, including favorites, in the selected date range, region, and other filters. So the filters are what you're putting in as a search filter there. And so basically it's just saying that the number of times your videos were removed from the viewers' playlists. And then subscribed, activity of viewers who are logged out and not subscribed to your channel and are in the video that they are viewing. So it might not necessarily mean that they're not subscribed. but at the point of viewing, they weren't able to determine that they're subscribers. And these are ones, subscribers are obviously ones that are logged in. YouTube is able to determine that they are actual subscribers and get that data and information. So this is how you would look at videos and playlists and do a little bit more deeper analysis. And again, it's usually going to be the same process where you're looking at your videos, comparing videos that are doing well as opposed to ones that aren't doing as well. Look at the metrics, analyze it, and look over the videos and try to determine why. Ask yourself, why is one performing better than the other? And that's going to lead you down the path of being able to determine and better optimize for yourself to better have better performing videos over the longer course of time. Take a look at your video listing. I've got a bunch of videos here that, so generally it is better. The more videos you have within your chart, the better, and you're better able to compare it. So look at percentage-wise where you've got videos in playlists here, videos added to playlists, videos removed to playlist. Check what the proportions are if you do determine that something is of a different percentage. So this one is slightly less being removed, so it's less than 10%, whereas these ones are more than 10%. So this is one that I might look at and say, okay, well, why is this one not being removed as opposed to these ones up here? And generally it is better to look at your top performing videos because you're going to get a better idea of what's happening. So once you get down to these lower numbers, it's less significant. So 62, 5 removed. Percentage-wise, it's roughly around the same, but this one is going to be a little bit more significant, and you're going to be able to pull out a little bit more information. And then as well as the opposite, where you can see that 121 and roughly 20 are being removed. So this is probably about 18% being removed, so it's quite a bit higher, and this would be on the higher end of videos being removed. So one way to do it is to create an Excel chart and just work out the percentages. So I just quickly created a chart here in Excel to kind of illustrate what I was talking about, where you see that I just basically took this, this number C1, divided it by B1. So that gives me a rough percentage of what 2,137 is out of 1864. And that tells me what kind of percentage over the total number here is. So I know that if I do have a really higher number here, I'm also going to have a higher number here of removals. So these are the different variations that I want to look at, and the lower numbers I want to also look at as well and say, okay, well, this is a 10% increase on the additions as opposed to the removals. So I might want to look at this and say, okay, well, why did it only increase 10% when some of these other ones were hitting higher percentages? And then also I want to look at and say, okay, well, it was only removed 10% as opposed to some of these other higher ones. So this one was roughly removed almost twice as much as this one percentage-wise. So you're not always necessarily looking at the number. You're trying to calculate out the percentage-wise, and you're able to go from there to analyze which videos are doing better. And as I said earlier, this number here of 8.77, although it's it is less of a removal percentage as these ones up here, it might not necessarily give you the same information that you're looking for because the numbers are less and less, and as the numbers get less and less, the actual meaning and difference becomes less and less. Like you could have literally 2 videos in a playlist, one video has been added, one video has been removed, and you'd be at 50%. So and that wouldn't really mean anything because that would only be based on a few users and a few videos within playlists.